Welcome to Business 20 Introduction to Business. In today's lecture, we'll go over ethics and social responsibility. Our learning objectives are identify the foundations of business ethics and what it entails for a business to act ethically. Understand the different ethical issues a business may face, such as insider trading, conflict of interest, bribery, and explain rationalization for unethical behavior. And define corporate social responsibility and explain how organizations are responsible to their stakeholders, including owners, employees, customers, and community. So what is business ethics? Business ethics is the application of ethical behavior in a business context, such as being honest, doing no harm to others, competing fairly, and declining to put your own interests above those of your company, its owners, and its workers. Ethical is to know right from wrong and to know when you're practicing one instead of the other. So identifying ethical issues and dilemmas. Ethical issues are the problematic social questions that involve some level of controversy over what is the right thing to do. An example of this is environmental and economic factors. Ethical dilemmas are situations in which it is difficult for an individual to make decisions either because the right course of action is unclear or carries some potential negative consequences for the person or people involved. An example of this is prioritizing revenue over customers' experience. Honesty and integrity. Honesty implies the refusal to lie, steal, or deceive in any way. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. When it comes to companies, they must have financial transparency. This means that companies need to have accurately report their financial information, including revenues, expenses, and profits. Companies must avoid financial fraud, embezzlement, or accounting manipulations. Consumer trust. This is maintaining integrity in marketing and delivering what is promised, essentially for building long-term customer relationships. When it comes to supplier relationships, companies must avoid unfair negotiation practices, delayed payments, or ranging on contracts that can harm supplier relationships and impact the supply chain. Lastly, employee relations. This means that they maintain trust within the workforce, which is vital. Unethical behaviors such as favoritism, discrimination, or harassment can lead to employment dissatisfaction, high turnover rates, and even legal consequences. A culture of honesty and fairness fosters a more productive and engaged workforce. Interest. In a business refers to situations in which an individual or entity's personal interest or relationships could potentially compromise their ability to make impartial and objective decisions on behalf of their organization or stakeholders. Financial conflict of interest occurs when an individual's financial interests clashes with the interests of the business or its stakeholders. For instance, an executive who owns shares in a supplier company might be inclined to award contracts to that supplier even if it's not the best choice for the business. Personal relationships. Conflicts of interest can arise from personal relationships. For example, if a manager hires a close friend or family member for a position within the company without considering other qualified candidates, it could create conflict between personal loyalty and the best interest of the business. Dual roles. This is when an individual holds multiple roles within a business or has affiliation with other organizations, which can cause conflicts to rise. For instance, a board member of one company may also be a board member of a competitor, potentially leading to divided loyalties and biased decision making. Gifts and favors. When accepting gifts and favors or other forms of compensation from suppliers, clients, or other parties with whom the business interacts can create conflicts of interest. These perks may influence decision-making in favor of the party providing them. Let's look more into the difference between bribes and gifts. So bribes are financial advantages or other rewards to induce or influence an individual or a company, whereas gifts is a thing given willingly to someone without payment and it is also a present. So how do you determine the difference? Well, the first determination is the cost of the item. When was the item or gift given to you? Was it right before sealing a contract, or was it after you sealed the contract, signed the contract? Which type of gift did you receive? The connection between the giver and the receiver. If you're on the receiving end, it's a good idea to refuse any items that's overly generous or given for the purpose of influencing your decision. Whistleblowing is an individual or whistleblower is an individual who exposes illegal or unethical behavior in an organization. This means that they report misconduct. A whistleblower can come forward to report a wide range of misconduct such as financial fraud, corruption, unsafe working conditions, environmental violations, discriminations, harassment, product safety concerns, and much more. The primary motivation is often to address wrongdoing and prevent harm to others or to the environment. The protection of public interest. Whistleblowers are motivated by a sense of responsibility to protect the public interest. They believe that revealing misconduct within their organization is necessary to prevent harm to customers, employees, shareholders, and the environment and society at large. What legal protections are available? Many countries have laws in place to protect whistleblowers for retaliation by their employers. These laws often prohibit employers from taking adverse actions against whistleblowers, such as firing, demoting, or harassing them. What are some of the impacts and outcomes? Whistleblowing can have significant consequences for both the whistleblower and the organization involved. If the allegations are sustained, it can lead to legal investigation, fines, damage to the company's reputation, and changes in company policies and practices. However, it can also lead to positive changes such as increased transparency, accountability, and improved corporate governance. Insider trading refers to the buying or selling of company stocks or other securities by individuals who have access to non-public material information about the company. This material information is significant enough that it could influence an investor's decision to buy or sell the stock if they were publicly known. Some key aspects of inside trading are when is it legal versus illegal to do inside trading? Legal inside trading occurs when corporate insiders, such as the executives, directors, or employees, buy or sell stocks in their company and report their transactions to regulatory authorities like the U.S. Securities and Exchanges Commissions. As long as the information is public and the trades are reported, this practice is legal. It is considered illegal when it occurs When someone with access to confidential, non-public information uses it to make a profit or avoid a loss at the stock market. For example, an executive learning about an upcoming merger or poor earning results and trading on that information before it discloses to the public is illegal. So, who is considered an insider? An insider is considered a company executive, such as CEO, CFO, or board members, and other high-ranking officials are considered insiders. Employees are also considered insiders. That is, anyone within the company with access to sensitive financial information. Advisors, such as lawyers, accountants, or consultants who may have knowledge. And TPs, who are people who receive insider information from an insider and trade on it, such as a friend or family member who benefits from confidential information. So, what are the consequences? Fines, civil penalties, and imprisonment. An example of a case of insider trading is Martha Stewart in 2001. Stewart sold all of her shares in ImClone Systems after learning that the Food and Drug Administration was going to reject the company's cancer drug. She avoided a loss of over 45,000 by doing so. She was sentenced to a few months in prison and in addition to home and confinement and probation. Corporate social responsibility, also known as CSR, refers to the approach that an organization takes in balancing its responsibility towards different stakeholders when it comes to legal, economic, ethical, and social decisions. The four main pillars of CSR are environmental, which is when protecting the planet and adapting sustainable practices. Social is promoting ethical labor practices and community welfare. Economic is ensuring financial responsibility and creating value for all stakeholders. And legal is compliant with laws and regulations. So how does CSR affects the stakeholders? And what is the responsibility to each stakeholder? So the responsibility to owners is the financial returns. Companies are obligated to generate profits for their owners. They need to invest wisely and manage resources effectively to maximize returns. There must be transparency and accountability. The owners deserve transparent communication regarding the company's financial performance and the operations, which help build trust and confidence. Now, responsibility to employees is by having fair compensation and benefits. Employees deserve fair wages and benefits, including health insurance, paid time off, and retirement plans. These benefits attract and retain talent. They also deserve a safe and inclusive work environment, which it means that they provide a safe and inclusive work environment free from discrimination and harassment, which is crucial for employees' well-being and productivity. Lastly, training and development of opportunities. This means that the companies invest in employees' training and development programs, foster growth, enhance skills, and improve employee satisfaction. Responsibility to customers is by providing high quality products and services. Customers expect reliable, high quality products and services that meet their needs and expectations, which help build brand loyalty. When it comes to the ethical and sustainable practices, customers are increasing conscious of ethical and sustainable practice. They favor companies that demonstrate commitment to these values. By providing excellent customer services, this fosters a positive experience, increases customer satisfaction, and encourages repeat business. Customers appreciate when businesses are honest and transparent. about the products, services, and company practices. This builds trust and confidence. Lastly, the responsibility to the community. Environmental sustainability, meaning that companies should strive to minimize their environment impact by reducing waste, conserving resources, and promoting sustainable practices. This should also have community involvement and actively participate in local communities through volunteer work, sponsorships, or charitable donations, which benefits the community and enhances the company's reputation. That's all for today's lecture. Thank you for joining me.